Hi, today I'm going to be reading the Iliad of Homer, the Richard Lattimore translation, Book 1. Sing, goddess, the anger of Peleus' son Achilles, and its devastation, which put pains thousandfold upon the Achaeans, hurled in their multitudes to the house of Hades strong souls of heroes, but gave their bodies to be the delicate feasting of dogs, of all birds, and the will of Zeus was accomplished since that time when first there stood in division of conflict Atreus' son, the lord of men, and brilliant Achilles. What god was it then set them together in bitter collision? Zeus' son and Leto's, Apollo, who in anger at the king drove the foul pestilence along the host, and the people perished, since Atreus' son had dishonored Chryses, priest of Apollo, when he came beside the fast ships of the Achaeans, to ransom back his daughter, carrying gifts beyond count, and holding in his hands, wound on a staff of gold, the ribbons of Apollo, who strikes from afar, and supplicated all the Achaeans, but above all Atreus' two sons, the marshals of the people. Sons of Atreus, and you other strong grieved Achaeans, to you may the gods grant who have their homes on Olympus, Priam's city, to be plundered, and a fair homecoming thereafter. But may you give me back my own daughter and take the ransom, giving honor to Zeus' son who strikes from afar, Apollo. Then all the rest of the Achaeans cried out in favor that the priest be respected and the shining ransom be taken. Yet this pleased not the heart of Atreus' son Agamemnon. But harshly he drove him away with a strong order upon him. Never let me find you again, old sir, near our hollow ships, neither lingering now nor coming again hereafter. For fear your staff and the gods' ribbons help you no longer. The girl I will not give back. Sooner will old age come upon her in my own house in Argos, far from her own land, going up and down by the loom and being in my bed as my companion. So go now, do not make me angry, so you will be safer. So he spoke, and the old man in terror obeyed him and went silently away beside the murmuring sea beach. Over and over the old man prayed as he walked in solitude to King Apollo, whom Leto of the lovely hair bore. Hear me, lord of the silver bow, who set your power upon Chryse and Kila the sacrosanct, who are lord in strength over Tenedos. Smintheus, if ever it pleased your heart that I built your temple, if ever it pleased you that I burned all the rich thigh pieces of bulls, of goats, then bring to pass this wish I pray for. Let your arrows make the Danaans pay for my tears shed. So he spoke in prayer, and Phoebus Apollo heard him, and strode down along the pinnacles of Olympus, angered in his heart, carrying along his shoulders the bow and the hooded quiver, and the shafts clashed on the shoulders of the god walking angrily. He came as night comes down, and knelt then apart and opposite the ships, and let go an arrow. Terrible was the clash that rose from the bow of silver. First he went after the mules and the circling hounds, then let go a tearing arrow against the men themselves, and struck them. The corpse fires burned everywhere and did not stop burning. 9 days up and down the host ranged the gods' arrows. But on the 10th Achilles called the people to assembly, a thing put into his mind by the goddess of the white arms, Hera, who had pity upon the Danaans when she saw them dying. Now when they were all assembled in one place together, Achilles of the swift feet stood up among them and spoke forth. Son of Atreus, I believe now that straggling backwards, we must make our way home if we can even escape death, if fighting now must crush the Achaeans and the plague likewise. No, come, let us ask some holy man, some prophet, even an interpreter of dreams, since a dream also comes from Zeus. Who can tell why Phoebus Apollo is so angry? If for the sake of some vow, some hecatomb he blames us, if given the fragrant smoke of lambs, of he-goats, somehow he can be made willing to beat the bane aside from us. He spoke thus and sat down again, and among them stood up Calchas, Thestor's son, far the best of the bird interpreters, who knew all things that were, the things to come, and the things past, who guided into the land of Ilion the ships of the Achaeans, through the seer craft of his own that Phoebus Apollo gave him. He in kind intention toward all stood forth and addressed them. You have bidden me, Achilles, beloved of Zeus, to explain to you this anger of Apollo, the Lord who strikes from afar. Then I will speak. Yet make me a promise, and swear before me readily by word and work of your hands to defend me, since I believe I shall make a man angry who holds great kingship over the men of Argos, and all the Achaeans obey him. For a king, when he is angry with a man beneath him, is too strong, and suppose, even for the day itself, he swallow down his anger, he still keeps his bitterness, that remains until its fulfillment, deep in his chest. Speak forth, then. Tell me if you will protect me. Then in answer again spoke Achilles of the swift feet. Speak, interpreting whatever you know, and fear nothing. In the name of Apollo, beloved of Zeus, to whom you, Calchas, make your prayers when you interpret the god's will to the Danaians, no man, so long as I am alive above earth and see daylight, shall lay the weight of his hands on you beside the hollow ships. Not one of all the Danaians, even if you mean Agamemnon, who now claims to be the far greatest of all the Achaeans. At this the blameless seer took courage again and spoke forth. No, it is not for the sake of some vow or hecatomb he blames us, but for the sake of his priest whom Agamemnon dishonored, and would not give him back his daughter nor accept the ransom. Therefore the archers sent griefs against us, and will send them still, no sooner thrust back the shameful plague from the Danaians, until we give the glancing-eyed girl back to her father without price, without ransom, and lead also a blessed hecatomb to Chryse, thus we might propitiate and persuade him. He spoke thus and sat down again, and among them stood up Atreus' son, the hero, wide-ruling Agamemnon. Raging, the heart within filled black to the brim with anger from beneath, but his 2 eyes showed like fire in their blazing. First of all he eyed Calchas bitterly and spoke to him. Seer of evil, never yet have you told me a good thing. Always the evil things are dear to your heart to prophesy, but nothing excellent have you said nor ever accomplished. Now once more you make divination to the Danaians, argue forth your reason, why he who strikes from afar afflicts them, because I, for the sake of the girl Chryseis, would not take the shining ransom.